So we're up to Shin Mem Gimel. We started yesterday with the Chavetz Chaim's advice on chinuch. Let's try and finish off this siman now. So let's just start again from the beginning of the Mechaber. Katan Eichel Nevelis. A katan who eats non-kosher food, ain't based in Mitzvah Lafrisha, based and not obligated to prevent him from eating it. Aviv Mitzvah Ligar Bay, but a father is chayiv to rebuke him ulahafrisha me'isa deraisa, and the father's got to stop him from eating an issa deraisa ulachila b'yadayim osa, but to actually feed him, personally, directly, is osa. Afilu dvarim, even things she'asurim midivrei sofrim, even things which are also midrabanan, you can't feed the child directly. That's what he said yesterday. Now we'll see that the Ramah says that we're talking about a child who has not hit the age of chinuch. He's a very young child. He hasn't got the das. That's what we're talking about. So again, the Mechaber says that when it comes to an issa deraisa based in a not mitzvah lahafrishay, but the father should stop him eating an issa deraisa. But when it comes to actually feeding him directly, you can't even do an issa drabanan. That's where we got up to yesterday. So let's just do the Mishnah Bura on Sif Hey. We're up to Sif Cotton Hey. Va'afilu. So we said even dvarim which are also midrabanan, you can't directly feed him. Says the Mishnah Bura, and you can't even tell a non-Jewish person to give him that food. Also, so like any other din of Amir La'akum. And certainly you can't tell the child himself to eat something which is also. Now, if however the child needs it, he's unwell, there you're allowed to tell a non-Jewish person to give this child something which is also even min ha-Torah. If a young child is unwell, then you're allowed to do that. And a good example of that would be Pesach. We can instruct the non-Jewish person to take the child to his house, and he can give him a chometz to drink and to eat. And so too, if the child needs to drink wine, for some reason he can't have water and he needs to drink some wine, you can instruct a non-Jewish person to give him that, even though it's ordinarily asa. For a child under the age of chinuch who needs it, he's a chole, we allow that. If the kid is unwell, and you can't take him out of the house, we ask the non-Jewish person to come to you and to give the child chometz, which is a scary thing, bringing chometz into the house. Why is it allowed? Because it's not my chometz, and it's got the classic halacha of the chometz belonging to a non-Jewish person in the house of Yisrael, and therefore I'm not chayiv for bali roy. Even if the non-Jewish person comes, you can, if you can't get the non-Jewish person to do it, you can instruct a child to give it to another child. That's what I think what he's saying. But you, the adult, cannot touch this chometz. Maybe you'll come to eat it. Don't make sure you don't pay for it in advance, because then you'll acquire the chometz and then you'll over bali motze. Okay, let's continue. Let's continue the top. V'chein, top line of the Mechaber, v'chein also lahargilo bechil Shabbos. And so too, you can't be margil, accustom the child to break Shabbos or Moed or Yontov, v'afilu b'dvarim shehem mishum shvus, even things which are also only midrabanon. Says the Mishnah Berurah, Sif Cotton Vav, k'goyin sheyem lo hovele mafteach, v'afilu derech karmelis, bring the key, even if it's only an issa drabanon of hoitzah, because it's derech karmelis, you can't get the kid used to doing averas, even if he's a young child. Okay, says the Ramah. V'yesh Oimrim, the Ramah on Shin, at the very end of Shin Mem Gimel. V'yesh Oimrim, D'chol zeh b'kotzen d'regil chinuch. Now there are those who say, says the Ramah, that all of the above is talking about a kid who has not yet hit the age of chinuch. Again, what's the rules? The rules are, all of the above means that a beis din is not mitzvah lahafrisha if he's eating treif, and a father should rebuke him when it comes to an issa deraisa to tell him, don't eat that. That you can't eat that for an issa deraisa. For Drabonon, you wouldn't have to. But Lahachina b'yadayim, to directly feed him, that even Issa Drabonon would not be allowed. So all of that, says the Ramah, is talking about Kotin Delo Higia Lechinuch. Aval Higia Lechinuch, but if the child has reached the age of Chinuch, Tzrichim La'afrisha, then you've got to separate him, you've got to prevent him from eating things which are not allowed. V'yesh Omrim Delo Shayach Chinuch LeBeis En La'av Bevad. And some say Beis have nothing to do with this. This is a din in the father only. V'koton Shehika Es Aviv. Now, very interesting end of the Ramah here. A child who hits his father, which of course is an Issa Deraisa, or a child does other Averas in his youth, before he became a Gadol, even though he doesn't need to do tshuva when he's older, because after all he was a child. It's good for him to accept upon himself some form of tshuva as an atonement, even though he violated these averas before he became an adult. Okay, let's see the Mishnah Berurah. But once he reaches the age of chinuch, then you've got to sort of prevent him from doing these averas. To kiven de gia lechinuch. Once he has arrived at the age of chinuch, mutal al kol adam la'afrisha me'esura k'may alaviv. Then everyone should try and prevent him from doing isurim. V'had the kaim lan de'in mitzuva la'afrisha. We said before that you're not mitzuva la'afrisha. That's talking about b'shalei gia lechinuch, when he's very young. V'ayin b'chaya adam shedaitoi that in isura deraisa yesh lahachmik kadezu. For a deraisa you should be machmir for this. Valkain im ha'ovid gelulim roitz lahachil lekotin Yisrael she'gia lechinuch dava she'osm deraisa. If a non-Jewish person wants to give something which is treif, which is awesome in HaTorah, to a child who is higia lechinuch, mutul gamal acherim nimchus biyada. Even other people should try and prevent that. Aval b'dava she'isur midrabanan ein mutul rak al that then the obligation is only on the father. Okay. V'yesh omrim delo shayach lav der chadoshahi eladas ha'mechabel el. It's going back on the mechaber. Now, then the Ramah finished off and said that a child who does averas when he's a child, he doesn't need to do tshuva. However, it's good for him to take upon himself ezer dava tshuva as a kapara, even though he did it as a child. Says the Mishnah Berurah, Cotton Test, Cotton shegonav, a child that stole, or shehizik, or he caused damage. Royal based in la'akaisei, based in should intervene. It says to hit him. Eshelo gilba, that he shouldn't become accustomed to doing these sort of things. V'chein chavola ubiush, and so too if he hurt somebody. Ubiyesh, or he embarrassed somebody. V'chol dvarim shebein odem lechaveroi, based in mitzuvin afrisha, based in an obligated to prevent him from doing it. Shelo ye'era takol al yoda, that no damage or bad things come out of his hands, should come as a result of his actions. But if he doesn't need to actually pay, if the damage is not tangible or existent, and that's only according to the strict halacha. Whether he actually caused damage with his own body, or he did it with his assets or with his money or something, then I mean he should pay up for it. So just to summarize, a cotton that causes damage or does an avera, he's not really obligated to do tshuva. However, it's a good thing that Beis Din should get involved to try and not be margil him for this, and parents as well, because that really is chinuch. But it's lefnim mishur sadin that if he should try and do something, i.e., to do some form of tshuva, or even though he doesn't actually have to pay for damages caused, he should do something. Sorich l'shalem lo lefnim mishur sadin. But strictly speaking, he is exempt.